For centuries, humanity has looked back at the ruins of ancient civilizations with awe and confusion. Some of these structures are so advanced that modern engineers admit they would struggle to recreate them with today's tools. Perfectly carved stones weighing hundreds of tons, underground networks built with impossible precision, and astronomical alignments so accurate they rival modern observatories. All of it forces us to question what our ancestors really knew. Were they working with a lost form of technology? Did they inherit knowledge from a forgotten civilization, or perhaps something not of this world? Today, we are diving into 5 ancient sites that may be hiding technology we still do not fully understand. The Great Pyramid of Giza, an ancient power plant. When people think of the Great Pyramid of Giza, they imagine it as a giant tomb built for the pharaoh Khufu. But when you look closely, the pyramid does not quite fit that description. For one, no mummies have ever been found inside it, unlike other tombs of Egyptian rulers. Instead, what we see is a structure of such precision that even today, experts debate how it could have been constructed with the tools available more than 4,000 years ago. The pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, with an accuracy so impressive that even modern surveying equipment struggles to match it. How could an ancient civilization, supposedly without advanced instruments, achieve this kind of engineering perfection? Some researchers believe that the Great Pyramid was more than just a burial monument. One of the most compelling theories is that it functioned as a giant power plant. When you examine its internal chambers and passageways, they seem less like ceremonial spaces and more like parts of a machine. The king's chamber, for instance, is made entirely of granite, which contains a high percentage of quartz crystals. Quartz has a property called piezoelectricity, which means it can generate an electrical charge when subjected to mechanical stress. Imagine, then, the weight of millions of tons of stone pressing down on this granite chamber for thousands of years. It could have been generating energy. The pyramid also sits on a limestone plateau with underground water channels. Some scientists have suggested that water moving through these channels may have created a natural current, essentially turning the pyramid into a massive generator. Even more mysterious is the discovery of strange chemical residues in the so-called Queen's Chamber. When combined, these chemicals could have produced a hydrogen-based reaction, further fueling the idea that this structure was not simply symbolic, but functional. Hydrogen, after all, is one of the most important elements in modern energy systems. Mainstream Egyptology rejects these ideas, insisting the pyramid is simply a tomb. But there are too many unanswered questions. How did the Egyptians transport and lift blocks weighing 70 to 80 tons with only ropes, copper tools, and manpower? How did they cut granite so precisely that modern diamond-tipped saws struggle to replicate the same smoothness? Why does the internal structure of the pyramid resemble the layout of electrical systems, with shafts, chambers, and passageways designed in a way that looks more mechanical than ceremonial? Even Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor who gave us alternating current, studied the pyramids extensively. He believed they were not tombs at all, but energy transmitters. He even designed his Wardenclyffe Tower in New York with similar principles, hoping to provide wireless electricity across the world. If Tesla, a man centuries ahead of his time, saw a technological pattern in the pyramid, perhaps there is more truth to this theory than historians care to admit. Ultimately, the Great Pyramid of Giza remains a riddle. It may have been a tomb, it may have been a ceremonial monument, or it may have been something far more extraordinary, a machine left behind by a civilization whose knowledge has been lost to time. What is undeniable is that, even in the 21st century, we still cannot fully explain how or why it was built with such incredible precision. That alone suggests it may be hiding technology we still do not understand. Puma Punku, the impossible stonework of the Andes high in the Bolivian Andes, lies one of the most baffling archaeological sites on the planet, Puma Punku. Part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, Puma Punku is not as famous as the pyramids or Stonehenge. But for those who study ancient technology, it is perhaps the most mysterious site of them all. At first glance, you see scattered blocks of stone lying across the plateau, but upon closer inspection, the stones themselves are what defy explanation. Some of the blocks at Puma Punku weigh over 100 tons, yet they were quarried miles away and somehow transported to their current resting place without the wheel or advanced lifting equipment. But it is not just the weight of the stones that shocks researchers. It is the precision of the cuts. Many of the stones are carved in what are known as H blocks, shaped like perfect interlocking puzzle pieces. Each block is cut with such exact angles that modern engineers who have measured them describe the tolerances as machine-like. These stones are not rough or uneven. They have perfectly straight edges, smooth surfaces, and precision, drilled holes that suggest the use of advanced tools. One stone, for example, has a series of perfectly aligned holes drilled into its surface. Modern analysis suggests these holes were not carved by hand chiseling, but by high-speed rotary drills. Technology we associate with modern engineering workshops, not with an ancient Andean culture thousands of years old. Even the corners of the H blocks are so sharp and precise that they resemble prefabricated concrete molds, almost as if the builders had access to industrial manufacturing methods. If this were simply a matter of skill, perhaps we could credit it to artisans with exceptional craftsmanship. But the real mystery lies in how these stones were shaped, transported, and assembled into a structure that was once massive and complex. Archaeologists believe Puma Punku may have been a ceremonial site or temple, but the stones look more like the remains of a dismantled machine or advanced structure. Unlike the rough stones of other ancient ruins, these blocks look engineered for functionality, almost as if they were meant to be part of a mechanical or technological system. The question then arises, what kind of tools were used to achieve such precision? The Tiwanaku people, who are credited with building Puma Punku, did not have steel tools, did not know the wheel, and did not possess writing. How then could they create such flawless stonework? Some theories suggest that they used a lost technology, perhaps stone, softening techniques with unknown chemicals, or even some form of advanced machinery passed down from an earlier civilization. What makes Puma Punku even more fascinating is that the site shows signs of having been destroyed suddenly, perhaps by a massive earthquake or cataclysm. This destruction scattered the stones across the landscape, almost as if the site was intentionally dismantled. Could it have been that this place once held a technology so advanced that it needed to be hidden or destroyed? The site raises another strange possibility. Were these stones prefabricated in a way similar to modern concrete casting? Some geologists argue that the surface of certain blocks resembles geopolymer concrete, suggesting the ancient builders may have discovered a way to mold and pour stone rather than carve it. If true, this would rewrite the history of materials science, proving that ancient people had knowledge that surpasses even modern construction techniques. The mainstream explanation is that these blocks were carved with primitive stone tools and painstaking effort over many years. But when one looks at the laser straight cuts, the perfectly even drill holes, and the interlocking geometrical designs, the idea that this was achieved with nothing more than hammerstones and chisels becomes hard to accept. Puma Punku challenges everything we know about human history. If this site truly was built with advanced technology, then we must ask, where did that knowledge come from? Was it a lost civilization that passed down techniques we no longer remember? Was it an early experiment in engineering that somehow disappeared from human progress? Or, as some theorists suggest, could it have been knowledge given to ancient humans from an outside intelligence? Whatever the case, Punku stands as undeniable evidence that there is more to our past than we have been told. The precision, scale, and mystery of its construction continue to puzzle researchers, and perhaps hidden in those massive blocks lies a technology we still cannot replicate or even fully comprehend. The Great Pyramid of Giza, a power plant in disguise. Few monuments in human history inspire as much awe and mystery as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Rising from the sands of Egypt over 400–500 years ago, it remains not only the most iconic of the seven wonders of the ancient world, but also one of the most confounding feats of engineering ever attempted by mankind. Scholars maintain that it was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but growing evidence suggests that it may have served a far more complex purpose. Some researchers have put forward the idea that the pyramid was not simply a burial chamber, but a sophisticated energy-generating structure, an ancient power plant, harnessing forces we still do not fully understand. The theory gains strength when one examines the unique materials used in its construction. The outer casing stones, originally made of Tura limestone, were highly polished and extremely reflective, almost as if they were designed to direct energy. Beneath that, the core blocks were made of granite containing high levels of quartz. Quartz has piezoelectric properties, meaning it can generate an electric charge when subjected to mechanical stress, combined with the precision with which the stones were cut and aligned. This has led some to theorize that the Great Pyramid could have functioned as a gigantic energy amplifier, channeling Earth's natural vibrations into usable power. One of the most mysterious features is the presence of internal shafts and chambers, including the so-called King's Chamber and Queen's Chamber. Within these rooms, researchers have discovered unusual acoustic properties. When sounds are emitted within the King's Chamber, the granite walls resonate, amplifying the sound in ways that suggest the builders may have been aware of advanced harmonic principles. To some, this points to a lost knowledge of how sound, resonance, and vibration can be harnessed to manipulate matter or even generate energy. The pyramid, in this interpretation, becomes not a tomb, but a carefully engineered machine. There is also the question of the subterranean chamber beneath the pyramid. Some researchers believe it may have functioned as a hydraulic system, channeling water from the Nile into the structure. If water flowed beneath the pyramid, it could have created vibrations that interacted with the quartz-rich granite to produce electricity through piezoelectric effects. Combined with the pyramid's geometric alignment to true north and its connection to celestial bodies, it is possible that the Great Pyramid was designed as a massive energy collector, using Earth's natural forces as its fuel. What makes this theory compelling is how it parallels modern science. Today, scientists study how vibrational energy can be harvested from natural sources and how resonance can affect materials at the atomic level. If ancient engineers already understood these principles, it suggests they possessed a level of scientific knowledge far beyond what history credits them with. The pyramid may not have lit up light bulbs or powered machines, but it could have been a monumental device for harnessing and storing energy in ways we are only beginning to rediscover. Skeptics dismiss these ideas, arguing there is no direct evidence of electrical use in ancient Egypt. Yet intriguing anomalies persist, such as the Baghdad Battery, discovered in Mesopotamia, and depictions of objects in Egyptian carvings that resemble light sources. When considered together, these mysteries force us to ask whether the Great Pyramid's true purpose has been misunderstood. Was it really just a glorified tomb, or was it humanity's first great experiment in tapping into the hidden energy of the Earth? If the latter is true, it means the ancients may have left us a blueprint for sustainable energy, encoded in stone. The pyramid would then represent not the past, but a vision of a technological future we still strive to achieve. Stonehenge more than just a calendar On the windswept plains of Salisbury in England stands another monument that has confounded researchers for centuries: Stonehenge. To the casual observer, it is simply a circle of massive, standing stones, weathered by time yet still exuding an aura of mystery. Archaeologists often describe it as a ceremonial site or an ancient calendar aligned with the solstices. But what if Stonehenge was more than just a place of ritual? What if it was an advanced technological device that harnessed sound, energy, and celestial alignment in ways we are still trying to comprehend? First, consider the engineering feat itself. The stones weigh between 25 and 50 tons, and many were transported from quarries over 150 miles away in Wales. Without modern machinery, how did ancient builders move and position these colossal stones with such precision? The fact that the stones are aligned with key astronomical events, such as the summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset, suggests the builders were not only astronomically aware, but may have intended the site to act as a kind of observational machine. This alignment alone indicates a level of mathematical and scientific sophistication far ahead of its time. But the mystery deepens when we study the site's acoustic properties. Researchers who have recreated the arrangement of the stones digitally and physically found that Stonehenge acts as an enormous resonating chamber. When sounds are made within the circle, they bounce and amplify, creating unique vibrational patterns. This suggests the possibility that Stonehenge was designed not just for visual alignments but for auditory experiences, perhaps to harness the power of sound and resonance. Ancient cultures often revered sound as a divine force capable of influencing consciousness, healing, and even matter itself. Could Stonehenge have been a giant acoustic device, engineered to create specific frequencies for ritualistic or energetic purposes? There is also evidence that Stonehenge was not an isolated structure, but part of a vast interconnected complex. Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed hundreds of burial mounds, wooden henges, and hidden stone circles in the surrounding area. This network could imply that Stonehenge was at the heart of a larger system, a kind of ancient hub for knowledge, energy, or even communication. If sound and resonance were indeed part of its function, then Stonehenge might have served as a transmitter or receiver of energy across this network, linking sites in ways we still cannot fully understand. Another intriguing theory is that Stonehenge functioned as a healing site. Some researchers believe the bluestones used in its construction were chosen specifically because of their vibrational qualities. When struck or exposed to sound, these stones emit distinct tones. This has led to speculation that Stonehenge could have been an ancient, sonic hospital, where individuals were exposed to resonant frequencies for therapeutic purposes. Modern science is beginning to explore how sound frequencies can influence the human body and even promote healing, a principle the builders of Stonehenge may have already mastered. Then there is the possibility that Stonehenge served as a type of power station, though not in the electrical sense we imagine today. Instead, it may have tapped into the Earth's natural energy grid. Some theorists argue that megalithic sites across the world, including Stonehenge, are positioned along ley lines, invisible pathways of geomagnetic energy. If Stonehenge was built to interact with these lines, it could have functioned as a node in a vast global energy system, one that ancient civilizations used for navigation, communication, or spiritual practices. What makes Stonehenge even more fascinating is how its mysteries resonate with other ancient sites across the world. From the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of South America, we see recurring themes of massive stones, precise alignments, and acoustic properties. It is almost as if ancient cultures across continents were tapping into the same universal principles of energy and resonance. Stonehenge, then, may not just be a local monument but part of a much larger story, an ancient global knowledge system we have only begun to decode. While mainstream archaeology insists Stonehenge was primarily ceremonial, the evidence for a deeper technological purpose continues to grow. The precision of its construction, the sophistication of its acoustic design, and its alignment with cosmic events all point to a society that understood much more about the natural world than we give them credit for. Perhaps the real question is not whether Stonehenge was a calendar or a temple, but whether it was an ancient machine, one designed to connect humanity with the forces of the earth and the cosmos in ways modern science is only beginning to rediscover. The Great Zimbabwe Ruins, a lost city of unknown engineering deep in the heart of southern Africa, lies one of the most enigmatic archaeological sites on the continent, the ruins of Great Zimbabwe. This massive stone city, built between the 11th and 15th centuries, still puzzles historians, engineers, and archaeologists alike. What makes it extraordinary is not only its sheer scale, but the advanced building techniques used in its construction, methods that seem far beyond what was believed possible for the region at the time. The walls of Great Zimbabwe stretch for hundreds of meters, rising up to 30 feet high in certain sections, and they were constructed entirely without mortar. Instead, each stone was cut and fitted with such precision that the structures have stood for centuries, weathering time, storms, and human interference. The most baffling part is how the builders managed to move and position such massive stone blocks with limited technology. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt, which at least left behind some tools and hieroglyphic references, the Great Zimbabwe Ruins give us no written record of how it was built or who exactly engineered it. Some theories suggest that the city was the heart of a powerful African kingdom that developed its own advanced building techniques independently. Others speculate that the precision of the stonework hints at lost knowledge or even outside influence, perhaps from ancient civilizations that were far more connected across continents than mainstream history allows us to believe. Another striking feature is the mysterious Great Enclosure, a massive circular wall whose purpose remains unknown. Some archaeologists think it was a royal palace, while others argue it could have been used for spiritual or astronomical purposes. The alignment of certain walls with the stars and the sun has raised questions about whether the builders possessed sophisticated astronomical knowledge that was somehow forgotten. Furthermore, local legends speak of sacred stones and lost treasures hidden within the ruins, fueling speculation that the city might have been more than just a political capital. It may have been a center of ancient technology or energy that we still cannot fully understand. The ruins of Great Zimbabwe challenge assumptions about African history and human capability. It is a site that reminds us how much of the ancient world remains cloaked in mystery. Did its builders possess techniques of construction and astronomy that modern science still struggles to explain? Or is it possible that the city hides traces of an ancient technology long lost to time? Great Zimbabwe remains a monument to human ingenuity, but it also stands as a riddle, one that continues to baffle scholars and spark the imagination of those who believe that our ancestors knew far more than history books suggest. Across history, humanity has marveled at the ruins of civilizations that seem to whisper secrets we can barely grasp. Whether it is the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Nazca Lines, or Göbekli Tepe, there is a growing sense that these sites may not just be remnants of the past, but blueprints pointing toward knowledge that has been lost, or perhaps deliberately hidden. When we study the precision of ancient construction, the impossible alignments with the stars, or the unexplainable remnants of tools and artifacts, we are left with one haunting question: how much do we really know about the civilizations that came before us? The possibility that ancient cultures harnessed forms of technology we still do not understand challenges the entire story of human progress. It suggests that history may not be a straight line of advancement, but rather a cycle of rise, fall, and forgotten brilliance. The mysteries hidden beneath the earth, carved into stone, or aligned with celestial bodies may hold answers to questions we have not even learned to ask. Some believe this forgotten knowledge could change the way we think about energy, healing, or even humanity's place in the cosmos. But here is the most exciting part: discoveries are happening every year. As technology like ground-penetrating radar, satellite imaging, and advanced dating techniques become sharper, we are beginning to peel back the layers of the past in ways never before possible. That means the secrets of these sites may not remain mysteries forever. Perhaps the next great revelation is waiting just beneath the sands, buried in jungle ruins or hidden in plain sight on structures we thought we already understood. So as we continue to search, dig, and question, remember, history is not just about where we came from. It may also be the key to where we are going. The question is, are we ready to rediscover what has been hidden for thousands of years? And if we do, will we have the wisdom to use it?